Entrepreneur MBA podcast purpose is to help existing business owners grow their companies past the 10 million in revenue per year benchmark. Here is your host, Stephen Halasnik.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Stephen Halasnik, and I'm co-founder of Financing Solutions. Financing Solutions provides very easy to set up lines of credit for small businesses. And I will be your host for today's Entrepreneur MBA podcast. If you are interested in learning more about our business line of credit product, please visit our website at fscreditline.com. FS as in Financing Solutions, creditline.com. I think everybody should have a line of credit. It just makes complete sense for every business owner to have a backup plan. I've had it for my whole 25 years. Over the last 25 years, I've built 6 companies in the $5 million to $25 million range, including 2 companies on the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies in the United States. I love learning from people with business experience. And today I'm very excited to be speaking with Lindy Nowak. I knew I was going to get that wrong, from Up in a Day. Lindy spent 15 years in New York City as an art director and creative director across some major brands, including L'Oreal, Entertainment Weekly, and Women's Health magazine. From there, she decided to fulfill her dream and move into the world of entrepreneurship, where she started a new to market company called Up in a Day. Lindy, welcome to today's Entrepreneur MBA podcast.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, and I am too. And today's podcast is going to be what a business owner should know about website design. I wish I had done this podcast 6 months ago, because we just went through a major website redesign. And I always hate it when we have to go through like a new website redesign. It's just so much work, and I would have liked to have heard your suggestions, because, the fact of the matter is every 3 to 5 years, you really should be updating your website, or, in some of your cases, you got to have a website, and it's you got to do it because not just because your clients are seeing something old, but also because Google, for SEO purposes, they want you to use the newest platforms and the newest designs and the faster websites. And, there's all these different things that affect SEO, and that's why we did it. So if you had to say, Lindy, right off the bat, what is the number one most important thing that somebody needs to do when they're looking to redesign their website? What do you think it is?
Know your target audience. Know how your website is going to help grow your business. And then from there, I would say once you solidify what your website needs to do for your business, then you go into the development phase. And by that, I mean you're looking for an agency that understands your industry, understands your website needs, and understands your target market.
Yeah, it's kind of a shot in the dark when you go to like your design company. You're really just going. You hope you pick the right one. So let's talk. And we said agency. That could also be just one consultant. A designer like yourself. That's someone I would, with all our clients, I would highly recommend that's where they go. I mean, I think you should go to Lindy, honestly, because I think give her an opportunity. The type of people that I've used for website design are people like Lindy, who are worked for a big company and then they went out on their own, because I'm getting great talent at 1/4 of the price a lot of the time. And so how do you go about selecting the right person to redesign or to design your website?
Up in a Day is a very specific type of website service. Obviously, speed, right? Speed and quality. Yeah. So we literally build these websites in 12 hours for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And the way we go about, if I may say vetting our clients and making sure that we are right for them, and vice versa, is through just a simple processes of questions when we meet them on Zoom. And it's usually me talking to them and asking them about their business. What are their business goals? How long have they been in business? Who are their competitors? What are they looking to achieve through their website? And ultimately, like, what is, your business goal? Because often we'll get a lot of people coming to us who have an old, outdated website with way too much content, way too many pages, and the content is old, so that needs to be updated. And sometimes they think that they need all of that content on there, but really what they need is just a streamlined website that is fast, that speaks properly and appropriately to their target audience and their visitors to solve the problem that they're coming to the website for.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear too. So, to someone who's a layman about websites and website design, over the last 2 years, Google has made it a priority for speed for websites. So they will prioritize your website over others if your speed is significantly better and reaches their threshold. So that's why speed of website has all now become such a big deal, is because it's really affecting how people find you. It's, you might look at your website, oh, well, it comes up fast. But then when you run something like a speed check on it and you talk to someone like Lindy who kind of knows, well, or an SEO expert, they'll tell you you're not doing well. So do you do big website designs too?
We do. I mean, Up in a Day is a very specific product, so that's up to 5 pages, and we only build in Squarespace, talking about the platforms that are meant for speed and very Google friendly. But we'll also build more intricate websites just on the side. Prior to Up in a Day, I had a digital marketing company, and we did a lot of branding, a lot of very heavy Shopify and even Squarespace websites. So yes, we will do that on the side, but the main focus of my business is Up in a Day, creating these very turnkey marketing driven websites for small business owners. And there are a majority of small businesses, they only need a very simple, strategic, fast website. And you're so right about the speed. There are a lot of outdated websites built in WordPress that have outdated plugins. Google sees that. They're crawling your website every 48 hours, and they're just pushing you down the list if your website isn't up to speed. Even the content, like word stuffing, for example, if they see that around your blog, if they see it throughout your site, you're penalized for that 100%. Google is, they're looking for good content and they can find it. So yeah, all of those things are extremely important today, especially now. Whether you're a service or a product, people are searching Google, right? And when they're searching Google, whether it's national or near me, they're comparison shopping. They're comparison shopping on the web, and they're going to see your website and compare it with 2-3 others and decide based on your messaging, your content, your images, your design, your layout, and most importantly, the user experience. Because, go ahead, please.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
I was going to say, think about it. The way we shop and use, I should say, the way we use websites now is almost like innate. You go to a website and you know innately where to look for the buttons, right? And if your website doesn't have the CTAs in the right place, people are going to bounce. You have 3 seconds to capture their attention on your website. So strong message, strong descriptor of what you do, how you're going to solve their problem, and then of course the CTAs in the right spot. It's really just like basic knowledge of having the layout of your website built for your visitors and your customers.
Yeah, I had 2 things to add on that too. I mean, the first thing is, one of the things I like, Lindy, is that if you can get those websites up so quickly, I would recommend to people to just do what Lindy is telling us, like, do what she's the user service, and then update your website with a new website every 2 years. Because things break, plugins stop working, new versions come out of the WordPress site. I guess is that what you're using? Are you using WordPress? Yeah,
We use Squarespace, but
which is
we take
great.
a lot of WordPress websites.
Yeah. I mean, I've always used WordPress. I love it because I know it really, really well too. So I can navigate inside and do the things that we need to do inside. Not from a designer's perspective, but posting articles and all these other stuff. So I would recommend it because I tell you, and this is the second thing is we had to do our website over, not just from SEO, but I was embarrassed to give people my website, my friends. Literally, I would be like, it would always be this. It would be like, well, my website's financingsolutionsnow.com. But when you go to look at it, just keep in mind, we're going to update it. Right. Because I was so embarrassed by the website. It had gotten so old that I was like, I just can't take it anymore. And I'm a design guy. I mean, I'm really into visual. And so it really bugged me. You feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. We hear this all the time. In fact, it was just last week. I was laughing to myself because we were talking about creating a package called Stop Apologizing for Your Website package. And just get it done. I mean, the whole point of Up in a Day is so you don't have to wait weeks and months for a website that your business deserves. And also to piggyback on what you were saying, the other reason to be very mindful of making sure your website is always updated, not just for Google and SEO purposes, but also as small business owners, entrepreneurs, our businesses are evolving all the time. And especially if you're a new business and you get a new website, probably your messaging is going to change over time, whether it's tweaked or whether it's completely new or whether you have a new service. And it's actually mind-boggling how many customers come to us saying, oh yeah, my website's about 7 years old and it's not even what I offer anymore. This is like totally different. We just had somebody come to us the other day with that issue. So, that's really starting from scratch again.
You should do that. You should sell that service right up front and say, the price is this, but if you upgrade it every 2 years, the price will be this. And I would recommend that you update it every 2 years. Although there could be a problem with that because if you do have a business that explodes, let's face it, if you're a $25 million company, you're not going to go with a 6-page, and again, you're talking about the template pages. So it's 6 different sections, right? Like for example, I have I think I have over 2,000 articles on my website, right? So that doesn't mean it's 6 pages. That's one section. So you wouldn't touch that in essence. You might change the format a little bit, but so, I mean, I think I have less than 6 sections on my website, I think, but we do have complicated things going on with forms and with a lot of other stuff. And, so it's, listen, let everybody should know my website design with our designing team. I think there's only 2 or 3 people on it, but it took 6 months, right? So it's a lot, and even I look and I say, really, it's that difficult? But when I see how many hours they put into it, it kind of is. And we paid. So what did we pay for? $12,000.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, you said 6 weeks or 6 months to get the website?
6 months.
Oh, 6 months. So your website is probably very intricate and has a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
And that also was also partly, I owed them stuff at times. I had stuff, was it 6 months? I think I'm exaggerating. I think it was more like 3 months, and I owed them some stuff. Once I got them everything they needed. Yeah. Once I got them everything they needed, they cranked through it.
Right.
But, I'm super happy with the outcome. At least I will be for 3 years.
Your website is
great. By the way, yeah. And one of the things that I know I told them this, I said is, I don't want to have to wait 5 to 7 years to update this again. I want you to make it so that we can separate the design from the back end so that we can update this every 3 years. and they really did a better job so that I can get a new WordPress template, providing that WordPress is the big deal in 3 years
Right.
again, right? So,
Right.
um, how do you kind of get it down to a science now for your business so that the websites are, that you get it up in 12 hours?
That's a good question. Systems, processes, and frameworks. So when I started the business, I spent the first few months devising the systems and processes that would make this happen, to keep the designers happy, to keep it, first and foremost, extremely easy for our customers. Like literally all they have to do is come to us, have a conversation. We get to know them in and out. They send us their assets. We schedule their build out day. We build it. Then we review the site, make any edits at that time, and then publish the site. So that's in short, like how it works. Inside the business, it's all process. So I have 4 designers right now. I have 3 copywriters. We do a lot of copywriting for our clients as an add-on. And we have a logo designer and then a designer that does custom graphics for new businesses, with usually new businesses that have very light branding, like a logo and an icon. So there's a process for onboarding our clients within a time, specific questions, how to book them. That's a process. And then the flow and the management flow, the project management flow of gathering the assets, making it very easy for us, very easy for our clients, sending it to the designers, we have a quick discussion. The designers, we start every single website with a blank canvas. And I'll get to that in a second. How do we do it in a day? And then they have, like, we go by hourly, like hour 1. These are the sections that you know to design for this industry, for this specific client. Hour 2, hour 3, hour 4. And then we even work in like Pomodoro sections. Have you ever heard the Pomodoro method? We kind of,
No.
it's you work in sections so that you can, so you work in 25-minute increments. And then you take a break and then you go back, 25-minute increments. And really these websites, like going back to what you were saying about the amount of content, like you have 2,000 articles. We can't do that in a day. Like, and that's fine. Sure, we can do it in a whole different package outside of up in a day. But that's why we vet everybody coming to us, because nobody knows how to really get a great website up, right? So you're shopping around. So that's why we make sure that we are right for our clients and vice versa. And we bring so much value to our websites just by way of how we design them through marketing and sales for our clients, that they have to be very specifically designed for them. So, and how do we do this in a day? I devised a framework. So each industry that we work for has 2 to 3 frameworks. These are not templates per se, right? Because they're all custom designed. They're not all the same. They're all different. But the framework in which let's drop in the content through each page is built and structured for each of the industries for our clients. So the designer pulls that framework and says, okay, got it. So all I have to do is like plug and play, basically. It sounds very templatized, and in a way it is, but at the same time, we're very cognizant of the flow and the layout and the messaging for each client. So that's where the customization comes in.
Yeah, I actually thought the complete opposite, which is you have your act together and allows you to give me exactly what I want from a quality standpoint, because you have it all down to a science. So I actually, as a business owner, I love processes and procedures. It's what makes a great business. So to me, it's not just, I think before you told me that, I think, I hope you do that as your sales pitch that you just described to your clients. But before, I thought it was just you, that you're designing it, not designing, but that you're, just doing it. Now I see you have a whole process in place and it's just replicable. So I'm more impressed now too. So let me ask you a question. are you using, and for those, listen, well, a couple of the companies I've had, I go in and you select a WordPress template from a company that's already pre-designed the template. Then you kind of give it to your designer and they kind of make a few tweaks for you. Are you using WordPress templates or are you designing it from scratch?
We actually only build in Squarespace. So earlier I mentioned we fix WordPress websites. We fixed like circa 2018 WordPress websites.
Yep.
We will only fix them by building brand new websites, and we just take it into Squarespace. But those are only for the WordPress clients that were sold a WordPress website, and they actually don't need a WordPress website. Why? Because they're a small business owner, and they either have somebody on staff or their VA assistant or even themselves that have just very minor edits to make on a quarterly basis. And so at the end of all of our build outs, we send a custom video that we record on the back end of the Squarespace system, showing them exactly how to make edits at that time. But we have a subscription service too. Like everybody gets a Loom video just so you have it, because we're very transactional, and the product is.
Yeah.
But we have a subscription service, $99 a month or $199 gets you unlimited edits. And it's just a support plan. You send us what you need through our portal, and all of the edits are done in 24 hours. Like that was another solution that I wanted to provide for these small business owners. So when they have their website, then what happens? Like, oh my gosh, well, I have this blog that you built out for me, and I don't have time to post that blog and then share it with LinkedIn and that's what that support plan provides. It's like everything, all updates outside of brand new design. So it's super
it's
cool.
important. It's important too. Like I'll give you an example. Our old website, there were broken links in it, which affects Google. There's all these other things. And so my design company came to me and they were like, we have this, quarterly plan so that you can pay this and pay us this amount of money, and we'll keep all your plugins and the links and everything updated. And I was like, there's so many problems with the past website that let's do that going forward. Now with a new website, I said, all right, now we're doing it. Every month, let's make sure that everything is working. We're going to going from this point forward. Listen, I know a lot more about it now too, right? I'm really kind of an SEO expert from a layman's perspective. So now I realize how important this is affecting our lead generation. So having good website maintenance and a program in place for that right from the very beginning of a new design saves you money in the long run, doesn't it?
It saves you so much money in the long run. It really does. Yeah. And making sure that whomever you work with, that they actually finish the website. Like everything needs to be buttoned up and complete, including the SEO, including the link to your Google business profile, if applicable. That's really important. And that's another reason I started Up in a Day, is because we were getting so many small business owners coming to us with a half created website, if you will. Like the front end was designed ish, but nothing was built on the back end. No SEO, no alt tags in the images. The images weren't like properly titled. So we are very diligent in making sure that every single touch point in the website is done and complete, so that when we're reviewing with the client, we're publishing the website and we're transferring ownership over to their name. And we'll stay on obviously if they do the support plan, but it's done and it's ready to go. It's our values are very specific Up in a Day, and it's speed, obviously, value and quality, and ease for our clients, so that they don't have to worry about it. Because I've been there as a small business owner. When I started my digital marketing agency, it's a lot. I have come from a family of entrepreneurs. I've watched them set up businesses, like brick and mortar businesses. Wow. So we are really a solution for those people who are in overwhelm mode. And if you think about it, like, what is the one thing when you're setting up a business that goes to the wayside that you procrastinate on? Your website. Because oftentimes business owners think it's going to cost too much and take too long and take way too much effort. So they end up procrastinating and then at the last minute struggling and spending $10,000 on a website that they only need a $6,000 website for. They wait too long or they have their cousin design it. So that's the solution that we provide at Up in a Day. And it's really the reason why I started Up in a Day is to help these small business owners. And then
I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm impressed with your business as you've thought of all these things. I how do you get your clients?
Oh, that's a good question. I was just going to go into that. I was about to say, well, let's talk about how do we find clients now that I've created this business.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's always hey, listen, if you listen enough of my podcast, you'll know that my number one thing is you could have the best service in the world, best product in the world, but if you can't figure out your marketing strategy to acquire profitable clients, then you don't have much of a business. And so go ahead, tell me.
Yeah, well, the first thing I did when I started Up in a Day is I was very clear about who it's for and who it's not for. And I was used to saying yes to everybody. As creatives, we'll just take anything usually, it's like we could, because we're so versatile, but not Up in a Day. Up in a Day is very specific. It is for people who are time strapped, who don't want to nitpick at every little thing in their site. They're new or existing business owners, and I can go into the whole psychographic, but I won't.
Yeah.
And it's just, please just take my assets and design an awesome website for our company. And it's amazing. Like once I honed down exactly who that's for, it makes our process easier, and it's just way more rewarding. When it comes to marketing and advertising, I hit a roadblock. I thought, I'm going to have this awesome new company and all these people are going to love it. And it's going to be this huge referral business. And we're just going to crank out websites. We're going to do 5 a week. They're $4,000 all year long. It doesn't work like that. I think we can all say, you launch a business, you launch a product, and your first quarter or even your first month, when you put it out there, you make all these sales. And then it goes really quiet. And you're like, wait a second. So yes, I had a mentor. I listened to your podcast about that recently. And I also had a business coach, which was extremely, extremely helpful. 2 business coaches, 2 different types of business coaches. So we do a lot of networking. Miami, actually, we're based out of Miami. That's not, those aren't great clients for Up in a Day. So we do a lot of networking. We do a lot of LinkedIn outreach. That seems to be like our number one channel right now. But that's also a lot of work. And for advertising, we've done radio on NPR stations, which actually has been pretty lucrative for us because those are the small business owners that are like, ding, light bulb moment. Because as business owners aren't just always searching for an agency because they need a website. Some people don't even realize they need a website. They don't even realize that their website is outdated until you tell them. So educating our network, educating through LinkedIn is huge for us because it's that aha moment. Another thing I did recently was to offer free website reviews. And that has proven to be an amazing marketing channel for us. And the way it works is, we reach out through LinkedIn or social channels or network, warm emails. We don't do cold outreach. It's just a waste of our time because we know who our clients are. So we do warm outreach and we talk about this awesome website review. We do a whole Loom video recording and providing value for these people on how to make edits to the website. It's just improvements on their website for whatever purposes. And then they go through a little type form so we can get to know their business. It's like takes 5 minutes for them, right? It's up in a day. So everything should be very seamless, very easy, and very enjoyable. So yeah, that works. I mean, we send the reviews, and right then we get a calendar invite, and we're talking to them on Zoom.
The I don't remember if you answered this question. I know we went over that you don't do that you with Squarespace, that you do Squarespace. So when a client, when you go to speak to a client for the first time, and then they say yes, let's move forward. Do they get like 3 options to pick from? Here's the 3 designs that we're looking at for you, and then they say I want A. Okay, is that the way you do it?
We don't. It's a different business model that I'm not opposed to. Maybe down the road that will prove success. I'm not quite sure. But the way we do it is we already have a back-end framework. And so there are 2 examples. Okay, first, if they're a brand new company, we know that that industry, what they need. So we already have I'm calling it the wireframe that we have on our team side. So
Gotcha.
our team knows just to plug in their assets.
Yeah. Logo and all that.
Exactly.
If they have a logo. If they have a logo.
If they have a logo, exactly. Then we have to do the logo, which is fine too. Just simple logos. I don't want to tout that we do a whole branding package.
Logos can get super expensive. Yeah.
Super expensive. And that's
crazy.
Back in the day.
It's
weird.
Nuts.
Like I don't want to be like, oh yes, we'll do a whole branding package for $20,000 and then your website for $3,000. That doesn't make sense. That's why we have a very specific client that we go after. Otherwise, the margins don't make sense, and it doesn't make sense for them. It should be the other way around. So we have the packages. So that's for the new clients, the clients for the new businesses. Excuse me, but the clients with existing businesses, those are bread and butter for us, because they have websites that we just pull content off of and make it 30 times better. And they love it. I mean, it's amazing seeing the faces of our clients when they see their website for the first time, because there's a big reveal. We don't show you the design before because you're worried about other things in your business, how to keep the lights on. We're designing your website for you. So you're going to see it for the first time, like over Zoom and on a staging link. So it's really cool to see that. We have 2 pricing tiers. And this is where we come in being like, no, you are tier 1 or you are tier 2. Let's talk coaches, for example, coaches and consultants. We have a package for them. One package costs less than the other. And the second package is higher because they need more content, or they need a little additional design work, or they have a blog. And so that kind of covers that, those needs for that client. Because, the other thing we don't do, proposals. Our prices are flat fee. And the reason for that, for us, is to keep it easy. Be very clear about what the scope is, and very communicative with our customers on that first call. Like, this is what you get. Here are some examples, just so you know. And then if they need more, then we say, no problem. Of course, we're always willing to do more. We're not going to say, nope, sorry. It'll just cost a little bit extra, or they can upgrade to the other package. The other thing is, like, proposals take a long time. I don't know if you've ever worked in proposal land, but I have. Can be anywhere from 3 hours to 20 hours of your time. And then all of a sudden you have to build that into your pricing. And we try to I keep the margins as tight as possible so that we can keep our price as low as possible for our clients. So that, because a lot of them will just be like, oh, here you go. Here's all the money up front. And they're good to go. And that's what I like to see when our clients are okay with the pricing. I mean, we do have the payment plans, but they pay 100% up front, and they literally have a website within a week. That was a long version. That was a long answer to your question.
No, it wasn't. It's just
they're all custom.
As a business owner, and I just I've always loved studying businesses. I've done when I was at the age of 17, I knew I wanted to start my own company eventually. And I said, I'm going to go work for a big company, make mistakes, and then start my own business. And I knew I wasn't good at the politics end of corporate America. So I went to work for a big company, Xerox, for 8 years. And then I started my first company after that. And so during those 8 years, I was preparing myself to own my own business. And I took cases from the Harvard Business School for 6 years, the same course for 6 years. And it sounds like, oh my God, you took the same course for 6 years, but we always covered different cases. And so I love looking at a business and seeing what it makes it tick, because that's what you do in a case study, right? Usually you're put into these case studies where you're forced to address a problem that's about to happen, or you have to figure out the problem that's about to happen. And so, when I hear your business, right, and I hear, well, she's got the whole back end taken care of. She's got the processes, the procedures, the systems. It's all down. The quality is going to be really, really good. And the only thing that I think is, okay, now the lead generation part is the problem. That's the one. That's the biggest hurdle she has and going to have. Once you figure that out, like Financing Solutions, my company, we've figured that out. And so that's why I spend 95% of my time on the marketing side and figuring out lead generation systems. So to me, like, it's very interesting to hear your company in great detail, because I know the product is really good. And plus, you really know your customer, and you know your you know what you need to do to deliver quality on a consistent basis. And that's, to me, a well-run business. You've done a really nice job, and that's pretty quickly too. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up, actually. We're at a point in the business now. Yes, lead generation is always going to be the number one for Up in a Day, because we're a transactional product. Ideally, we have everybody on a subscription plan, but that's not going to cover everything. That's just recurring income. I'm at a point now where there's a brand awareness appeal that I don't want to grow too fast. I'm growing nice and slow. We are in growth phase. But what happens when we're ready? Do we go regionally? Do we do this big advertising campaign? I mean, I envision Up in a Day ads being on local buses in Los Angeles or the bus stops. Like, we do a lot of out-of-home advertising, which I think could be very beneficial, given the fact that this company is built on systems and processes. So that's my kind of vision and dream of seeing Up in a Day being a real resource for small businesses, but also, growing this, starting this company, being, I hate to say it, but the disruptor, to small agencies who build websites. But it doesn't have to be difficult. Just make it easy. And I make it easy for myself and for my designers just through the use of systems and processes, which will, of course, always evolve, right? As we grow and we get more customers and we start realizing that certain niches are maybe not our thing anymore, that our messaging changes, and then the system and process has to change. So that's fun for me, the working, on the business part of it. I wish I had a operations officer. One day I will.
Yeah, that'll come. That'll come. Believe me.
Thanks.
What was I about to say? Well, my advice to you, coming from a guy who spends most of his time on lead generation ideas: test and measure, test and measure, test and measure. If you can't measure it, you don't know if it's working. You don't know if it's going to make you money. So whatever marketing plans you're about to go do, you have to test it, and then you measure the success rate and see if it's the best acquisition target for you. So you're gonna do great, I know, and you're gonna start I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna add all these ancillary services, web hosting for small companies, all these things at these small businesses, and then you're gonna build the back end so that you make it cost effective, because we all know that these small businesses that are super small can't afford super expensive stuff. So, I think your future is really, really bright. And of course, I wish you the best of luck. So I'd like to thank so very much Lindy Nowak from Nowak from coming from Up in a Day for coming on to today's podcast. If you like today's podcast, please feel free to share it with a friend and also subscribe on your favorite podcasting app. And please also give us a review if it's a 5-star. Those reviews help us get the word out about the Entrepreneur MBA podcast, that's become extremely popular. We're in the top 5% of all podcasts right now in our space. And if you're looking for a line of credit for your business, you can also call us at 862-207-4118 or visit our website at fscreditline.com. That's FS as in Financing Solutions, creditline.com. Lindy, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how would they go about doing that?
They can go straight to our website and book a call. It's www.upinaday.co.
Great. And I appreciate it coming on. Let's just do a wrap up for today. I think some of the things that we learned today from Lindy is update your website. From a business perspective, build systems, processes, and procedures. And in fact, if Lindy wants a side job as a consultant, I think that's her future of helping other companies build systems, processes, and procedures. So nice job on that. And if you have a small business, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Go use Lindy. I mean, go to her. It's a no-brainer to me. She's got it all down. And, and I think she's done a great job with her company so far. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Other than that, everybody have a great day. It's still beautiful summer outside. I am always a big advocate of entrepreneurs taking care of themselves. You can't help others, your family. You can't help your employees. You can't help your customers. You don't take good care of yourselves. Enjoy life. That's what you're doing this business for. It's not just the money. So everybody have a fantastic day. Get out there and smell the roses. And thank you for listening to the Entrepreneur MBA podcast.